some fucking Elden Ring kind of Elden Ring environments on this. Oh my god, think about that. You look around and it's like dun, 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 like the fucking tree. Oh, Apple Vision Pro impressions. We just reacted to the Vision Pro. That's just probably somewhere in the link. I don't know. Click on my channel.
I've used the new Apple Vision.
Yes, he actually gets to. Okay. This is what I was. I was hoping this wouldn't just be analysis of the trailer.
I had about a 30-minute demo just using this new headset.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think you can get a decent amount of data out of 30 minutes.
So I tried to ask as many of them as I possibly could of Apple.
Oh, the video is by Marques Brownlee, by the way.
All the answers I could for you and for myself. So, without any further ado, let's just jump right in.
Let's just jump right into it.
To know so far about Apple's new AR VR headset. So the first question, naturally.
By the way, my reaction when I watched when I watched the fucking original trailer, I was so impressed. This is probably like the craziest thing I've ever watched. Just want you to know that.
First, this is a first generation device from Apple, which
I am currently
very often
juiced on hype from how crazy
but it is an augmented reality / virtual reality
the thing was.
Headset with a bunch of cameras and sensors inside that you strap to your face. It'll start at $3,500 and it'll go.
That is a lot of money, but I get it. Doesn't fucking matter. As I mentioned in my previous video, it doesn't matter what price they set. People will just have to buy it because this is a one-of-a-kind thing. There's no other option. There's no alternative for this.
Nobody's been able to shoot video of using it yet, so
you're either buying this or you're not.
I have to do my best with descriptions here, but fundamentally, this isn't something that's paired to your iPhone or your Mac by default. It's a standalone computer.
Okay, I see. But you can pair it
with an M2 chip inside, its own Wi-Fi connection.
How powerful is an M2 chip? I hope he explains that.
4K micro OLED display for each eye.
At least powerful enough to run 4K at a high refresh rate. We'll say that.
Speakers right above each ear on the band, and then a dedicated new R1 chip, which is doing all of the real-time processing from all the sensors that.
Oh yeah, it's got 2 CPUs basically,
this
right?
Headset pretty special.
That's kind of crazy.
But we'll get to that in a second. So all right then, how does it work? Well, basically, we've seen VR headsets and AR headsets before. It's
yeah, but the usual AR headset doesn't look that impressive, let's be honest.
There's screens on the inside, and then on the outside, there's some sort of shell which has some sensors on the outside that help detect what is in your room around you and help to see the controllers in your hands. But with this one, there are no controllers at all. They're not making any for it. There aren't going to be any optional accessories.
There aren't going to be. Okay, see, that's what I was curious about.
They're not even going to design any controllers. You are controlling this thing entirely with your hands and your eyes and your voice.
And on top of that, I mean, yeah, you're just controlling that, but what happens on screen? You can still process it from a computer, right? Like you can still connect that shit to a PS. I really want to play some PS games on this. That would be so immersive, man. That would be so immersive. The PSVR can suck dick compared to this.
Put this headset on, and basically all over the headset there are an absolute ton of sensors. You have 2 main forward-facing cameras, 2 downward-facing cameras, 2 more cameras for the sides, 2 infrared illuminators, a LiDAR scanner.
This is like cooling, I think, right? Like right here.
Depth camera. These are all to keep track of what's happening around the headset.
Yeah, I mean, you have to for maximum accuracy, especially because, like, what if you're moving your hand, scratching your nose, and suddenly half of the cameras are going to be obstructed? You need the other half to still be able to see.
And also to track your hands in front of your face. And then on the inside, there's also a bunch of infrared illuminators and infrared cameras that are purely there, just there, to track your eyes. So
wait,
are pure.
So they cast a infrared like outline on your face that only these specific cameras can pick up. Is that right?
There, just there to track your.
Or maybe not only the camera can pick up, but at least it's thanks to that light. It basically creates a fucking a 3D a hologram of your eyes. Like
eyes
to track it accurately, right? I think I'm understanding that correct. If I'm not, comments, do your thing. Come on, someone in the comments. Yeah, we got this. Come on. And while you're down there, do the YouTube thing for me. Yeah, come on, sub and all that.
Before you
do it as well.
You basically
you're already there. You know what I mean?
You sort of scan your face with the true depth camera on the iPhone, and it uses that depth information about your face to give you a sort of a custom cutout.
Oh, okay. That's the same as the iPhone. I mean, the iPhone one is super good. Like. This Face ID shit it slaps difficult.
This will be a process that you can do in Apple stores. But basically, you get the headset with the custom cutout for your face. If you have glasses, there are some Zeiss lenses. But you finally get the headset out, and you put it on. And there's some nice meshing on the back, some
Yeah, it looks
fabric
super
that
quality.
stretches and is pretty breathable. It's built extremely well with all this metal and glass. And then once you get it going, the most impressive thing about this headset, the most impressive thing, is the eye tracking. I'm not even kidding. This
I called that. I called that when we were reacting, right? I said the eye tracking normally sucks. This would have to be really good for it to be like an actual product. That is so hype. So I bet it knows exactly what you're looking at. I bet there's never a fucking fail. What you're looking at is what you're clicking on, if you know what I mean. That is yes.
This eye tracking is sick. So basically, the eye tracking in this headset, as
I want this thing so bad. $3,500, guys. If you don't help me with the YouTube shit, I'm never gonna hit the $3,500 mark. That is too expensive. Help your boy out.
The closest thing that I've experienced to like magic. Like I normally don't call tech things sort of magical.
I know, but it's I know this guy. He doesn't just he's not just a complete shill for everything. Like he does negative reviews for things when they're bad
or surreal like this. But
so I think it's fair to say that when he has a review this positive, like I don't watch him. I just don't watch Marques Brownlee much because I'm not into the tech scene. But I've seen like a few of his thumbnails and they're all quite often negative. So I
even for a pre-release product, kind of unbelievable how well it does. Anytime you move your eyes around the UI, it would immediately highlight and select exactly what you're looking at, no matter how small the target was.
Bro, FPS games, but you track your opponent with your eyes instead of a fucking mouse. Imagine, like you pull out your gun and then you have like a couple of controllers in your hand. So you sit down like this, right? And you're like, there's a guy in front of you.
And then when you want to select something, all you do is take your fingers like this and just touch them together. That's how you click. So you look at something, click. Look at something.
And the amount of cameras allows them to know what your fingers are doing at all fucking times. Although I do this motion sometimes. I sometimes when I'm sitting and I'm bored, I do this. I take like one finger at a time, like. I guess I should stop doing that.
Because actually,
once I get
the calibration process when you first set up the headset, you put it on for the first time, where you basically just look around with your eyes at a bunch of different dots, so it learns your eyes. And then, yeah, from that point on, you're just cruising. You're sailing through everything by just looking at things. And it feels like telepathic. You just look at something and select it.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's it.
I want this thing so bad. It's so expensive. I'm never gonna... guys,
help me out. How the whole UI works. Pretty much every other headset has the ability to use your hands to select things, but most of them rely on the sensors on the outside to keep track of a set of controllers for maximum accuracy.
These use cameras.
But this massive array of sensors on the outside of Apple's headset,
I suppose, yeah,
have done an impressively good job of picking up what my hand is doing, kind of no matter where it is. So like I said,
that's
the
what I
sensors
figured.
all the way around the thing, they're facing forward, but they're facing sideways and
I think, honestly, the price tag makes sense. No, I take that completely back. I was on some mad copium. $3,500 worth? No. My fault, bad take.
Facing down, so I could just kind of rest my hand like wherever and look at stuff and click. I don't even have to move my head. I can just look at something.
So do you have to like do this? Do you have to click, you know, in an animated way to like make sure I understand? So can you just like okay, I would click like this, honestly. I think it's more like instead of doing this, it'd be more comfortable to just hit like that. Can you calibrate it to do that? That would be so convenient. Like, cause like my hands are normally in a position where they're kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like,
just click my fingers. I kind of did it by accident a few times. Like I'd just sort of be sitting there and my fingertips would actually touch and I'd select whatever I was looking at. But pretty quickly you get used to just doing this. Now there are also some text boxes. Occasionally you want to type something, and so you can look at the text box, select it, and then a keyboard will pop up and you can look at the letters, but also you can just look at a search box field and just start talking and it'll start filling in whatever you're
yeah, because it understands that you're trying to type because you're looking at the text box. Look, there's so many features I didn't even think of. Fuck.
saying, because there's microphones on the headset. And there's also something they're calling Optic ID, which is basically...
How good are the mics? If I use this as a display for my PC, if I even can, do I still have to use a mic?
Kind of just the fingerprint ID of the headset, because it's looking at your eyes, and everyone's eyes is a different, unique biometric pattern. And so you log in just by putting the headset on, and it looks at your eyes. So optic ID, this thing knows your eyes really well. So then you've probably seen all these weird looking frames where you can see people's eyes.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Can you actually see through this thing, or does it just project a video
through it? Like this
on the glass.
Super weird thing that I've never seen.
I don't like it, honestly. I don't like it. I prefer to not see the eyes of who I'm looking at. I like when they're just like, I don't know, this just feels so fucking wrong to me. Okay, like, right, you're watching some questionable videos, okay? You're watching some extremely questionable videos. Do they see the projection of those videos in your glasses? That would be fucking... Like, your mom walks in, yeah, what are you doing? I'm just chilling on my VR headset. And she sees some fucking cheeks being clapped.
Seen in any other headset. So, what is happening here? Well, spoiler alert, it's not actually transparent. It kind of...
All right, let's go.
Looks like it's a glass.
So it's just a projection
thing, but it's not. It appears to be because there's actually an OLED screen facing out. This is what I would call a two-way pass-through. That's what I'm calling it. See, a normal VR headset we've seen is, of course, completely opaque. Usually it's like black plastic or something like that.
Yep.
So in order to see through to your actual environment without taking the headset
it uses cameras
off, like for picking up your controllers or walking around a room without hitting a wall, they have a pass-through mode. So it'll turn on a camera on the outside.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You can see what's going on around you. And some pass-through modes are better than others. Some will do it from a single black and white camera. Some will do stereo pass-through from two cameras. Some will do color pass-through. The pass-through on Apple's headset is, again, the best I've ever seen in a headset.
As I figured.
It's stereo, it's color, it's sharp, it's real-time. It's really good. So then the eyes you see from the outside...
So I mean, it has to be, because that's the selling feature of this thing, is that you use it while living your life.
Are actually an OLED display showing what your eyes look like to the cameras inside the headset. So it shows your eyes like this whenever you're using any sort of pass-through mode, and if you can see your environment, it'll show your eyes. So
so when you don't want people to see your eyes, you like if you're busy looking at a screen, people won't. If you're looking at the environment, people will see it. But if you're looking at like a fully immersed kind of video, they won't just see your facial expressions all the time. That is very nice.
Actually, like looking at someone's eyes, but it kind of feels like you are. Kind of creepy a little bit. I don't know. It's the simplest way of explaining
That's
it.
what I thought as well. It's just the bean with eyes like that. This, what is this, man?
Something fully immersive in VR, like watching a movie or playing a game, then it won't show their eyes. It'll show.
It's showing the outline of the movie, isn't it? Don't watch questionable movies on this thing if there's someone in your house. That's all I'm saying.
Graphic over their eyes instead. It's a really interesting.
Oh no, it's just a preset graphic that keeps replaying. Thank you, Apple. Thank you. I was worried about this.
Show this graphic over their eyes instead. It's a really interesting look. It's a bold look. I just have this like thought of like you're on a airplane and the flight attendant walks up and taps you. Hey, do you want any water?
And your eyes go doom.
And you just look up and your eyes shine through the headset.
That's what
Just a weird thing.
Fuck.
I don't think
That's
it's smart,
banging.
but I don't think other headsets are going to do it because most of them don't have it in the budget to have a
Yeah, no, I mean, most headsets don't cost $3,500, let's be clear.
on the outside. But then let's get to the burning question you've probably already been thinking. What does it actually do? So
It's just a monitor. It's an AR monitor that you use instead of your daily one. You can daily drive this thing with a
I'm
pocket.
separating this into three bulk categories that I made up and I'm kind of proud of here, which are computing, content, and connections.
You
Now,
don't
actually,
need to
I
have...
should preface this.
I just realized you don't need to have your phone with this thing. It does the job of a phone. Can I go walk my dogs with this thing on? Hold up, guys. Can I even use this in real life? Like, outside? In theory, right? It's 100% got a cellular data receiver. Right? It should. So can you... I like an antenna. So can you... I can walk my dogs and have a video in the background, but I can have it on the side. And then, like, I can look at it if like, I'm not on a road. If I'm crossing a road, I just make everything go away so I don't get run over by a car. And because it's not blocking my ears and the sound plays, like, into my ears, so long as it's not nothing louder, I'm not listening to music and I'm just listening to, like, a video, it doesn't matter if they're, like... I won't get run over, or like if someone walks up to me, I'll see them. Is this actually viable? Is this actually viable? Can I bring entertainment outside? That would be insane. That would be fucking crazy. Oh my god.
Way more interesting and way more functional, but it does have a core set of functions. So for computing, I think this is the one that's probably the least likely to be used by most normal people, but it is a pretty direct shot at what Meta just did with the Quest Pro, the $1,500 Quest Pro. So you can use this thing as its own computer with web browsing, etc.
Yep.
With these 4K windows in front of you that you can move around and do all kinds of stuff with your hands. Now, this will be its own OS. Again, it's not running off your phone or anything.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
running a whole new operating system.
Which means you can use it. Please let me use this thing outside. That would kill.
Called Vision OS. And it seems pretty similar to iPad OS, just in the fact that, you know,
just like
you're
in real
touching
life
things in iPad OS, and in this headset you look at something and then you touch your fingers together, and that's basically just like a normal touch. But I was really impressed with the responsiveness. Again, this was better than any headset I've seen with just your hands. If I wanted to scroll through something like a Safari window, I literally, in air, would touch my fingers together and drag the window, and it would scroll.
So you're sitting there like that, it's just scrolling. Or like you see a video you like, you look at it, you go, watching YouTube is gonna be such a slapper. Holy shit. Like immersive video essays, my videos, reactions to my comment. Oh my
in real time, I would, like, throw it around, like toss it, catch it, toss it the other way, and start scrolling through things with my finger, resizing windows, dragging the corners of things. And I was super impressed with that too. Now, if you're like me, you might have also had some questions about the sharpness. Like, do I really want to wear something like this for a long time to work like it's on a computer? And I think that was also pretty smartly addressed. They use a selective rendering based...
All right, I mean, I think most things do, right? So, well, most VR let me completely rephrase that. There's nothing new, you know, the PSVR headset already does it, and it makes complete sense to do. Render what you're looking at a higher quality than what you're not looking at. It's as easy as that. And because it has insanely good eye tracking, it can keep up
on the super
and know exactly what you're looking at, so it won't be a problem.
Good eye tracking. So the computing power is
he'll literally say, look, I'm just the smartest man alive, what can I say?
Focusing on sharply rendering the part of the screen that you're actually looking at while saving power on the rest. It's pretty cool, and it works so quickly that I did not notice it while using it. And then the part you're looking at is actually very sharp. Like I said before, they're super high resolution screens, they're 4K. I don't know if I have a number for refresh rate, but it felt like 120 hertz, and... Okay.
That is usable for, like, Hollow Knight in this. Imagine, like, single-player games. Okay, sure, FPS games, that's a big stretch. What about immersive cinematic single-player games? Bro, Hollow Knight on this, or like some fucking Elden Ring kind of Elden Ring environments on this. Oh my god, think about that. You look around and it's like dun, 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 like the fucking tree. Oh my god, I've never been this hyped in my whole life.
Eventually become a thing with any headset you strap to your face, but this would be on the lower level of eye fatigue compared to what I've experienced with some others. And then for even more heavy work, this is kind of nuts, but they showed it in the keynote. Apparently, if you have a Mac and you want to do Mac OS stuff, you can just, with the headset on, just look at your Mac, and it will pick up what you're doing, and it'll mirror the Mac's display as one of...
So even if they don't let you connect it to your Windows PC, you can get yourself the beefiest Mac available. That shit can do gaming as well, even if it's not built for it.
The 4K windows for you in the headset. And then you can even connect a Bluetooth keyboard and a Bluetooth trackpad and start working around like it's an actual Mac, just with a bigger screen wherever you want. Yeah, ecosystem stuff.
That's insane. But please allow us to do this on a computer. Please, please, please. Someone's gonna jailbreak this thing to let it work on a Windows PC.
So that's computing. I definitely got to try it. But then, of course, there's the connection stuff. You got messaging. You can type out messages to people just like as if you were on a Mac. But there's also, impressively, FaceTime. Now, I don't even know that this is necessarily better than a normal FaceTime holding your phone or like on a laptop, other than the fact that I guess you don't have to be holding anything. But
yeah, that's the real advantage. You don't have to hold shit. Like that's exactly what I want. Being able to see people without having to fucking... This is so awkward to do. I fucking hate doing this.
Floating in front of you as you talk to them on FaceTime, but you might also be asking, wait a second, if I'm not holding my phone in front of me, what do other people on FaceTime see?
And what they see is a 3D render of your face, as we found out in the original trailer of this thing that we reacted to.
The answer is they'll see a 3D rendered model.
He even fucking copied, bro. He literally copied me. This is pre-watched, guy.
Of you that was scanned into the system from your iPhone that syncs up.
Scanned from the headset. Yeah, not iPhone.
Matches the movements of your face with eye tracking.
I mean, the headset has just as good, if not a better, fucking facial shape scan than the
other
iPhone.
Sensors of the headset. So I got to try it. It works.
Oh, okay. It's not very impressive. Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not that impressive. I get it. The fact that he said, okay, don't get hyped about this.
It's not as good as obviously looking at a person. I just feel like a FaceTime, you're trying to have like a personal connection with the person. And this is obviously more personal than an avatar or like a cartoon of,
but less personal than a video of them. Okay, I see. It's not. This is. So the thing I was thinking about, the thing I talked about in the reaction to the original trailer, where I said like, wouldn't this make it completely drop the barrier for like personal interaction with people, so long as you have like a phone with a tripod? That still applies, right? You still have to have a phone with a tripod or a camera at least, so that they can see you in real life. Because this is basically an avatar it's gonna look uncanny. So this is gonna go into the uncanny valley and make you feel horrible. This is not a replacement of social for like physical interaction yet.
But it feels kind of somewhere in between. It's kind of like a Google Project Starline, which I just did that video about a couple weeks ago. If you haven't already
tell me about it. I haven't watched
seen that, I'll leave a link with a like button so you can check it out.
All right.
It feels sort of in that like uncanny valley.
That's pre-watched. I've actually watched this video before, guys. I haven't.
Moving 3D model territory instead of looking at an actual person. It's kind of how I picture it. But then last but not least, of course.
Well, it's not like I'm literally ever going to use, what's it called? It's not like I'm literally ever going to use the FaceTime in my entire life, so who gives a shit?
Content. People are just going to watch content on this thing. And I think this is the industry now that Apple's jumped.
Yes, this is the pitch. That is the pitch of it. Watch shit on this.
To it.
Someone in the future is watching this exact video on the hello to anyone who's doing that.
Like, we've had VR games and VR videos for a long time, and Apple is now also able to do this. They of course put their own spin on it, and they can use
Look at this
power and the draw of the Apple brand to get content creators and big motion picture studios and sports leagues and all kinds of creatives to work to make content that looks really good, specifically on Apple's headset. And
yeah, you don't have to be limited anymore. You can make 3D environments. So beforehand, right? Let's look at this real quick. So before this, the best 3D you had is for the fucking 3D goggles that do like a weird projection in front of you. And that was kind of ass. Now you have now it interacts with the actual 3D space in front of your eyes, basically, or at least it creates a very good illusion of it. So what that means for you, right, is that you don't like you can make environments that like swim around you, and with their special audio, like cinema is gonna get to a whole nother level.
Apple's form.
Also, ASMR content is gonna become fucking scary. It's gonna feel like someone's touching your ears and like, I mean, hey, that's gonna get at least some people hyped for sure.
I can personally say from my demo, hell yes, I would pay to watch an NBA game courtside in the VR head.
I'll be honest, couldn't give less of a shit about sports. A Dota tournament though, hit me up.
The quality is good enough, and obviously it's not going to be as immersive as feeling the energy from the crowd, but you're not paying courtside prices. You'd probably pay, this is a total guess, $10-$20 to watch an NBA game courtside.
Zero, if you like torrent. Ever heard of it?
Or have some subscription to do that.
Slap on your pyro hats and RR, and you know what I'm saying.
2D content like movies.
Don't pirate everything though. That's not good. Only pirate shit that's immoral.
Just watching a regular movie, you can totally just sit back, put the headset on, maybe even put some headphones on, and just like on a plane seat.
If you're buying indie games, buy them please, because you want to support the devs.
Just watch a movie as if you're in a theater for one, which is pretty sweet. There is that digital crown on the side.
Bro, you just called it a theater. Also, I just said bro.
as if you're in a theater for one, which is pretty sweet. There is that digital crown on the side that actually lets you spin it clockwise to move in more immersion and fully envelop you in the VR environment. Or you can turn
Actual 3D fucking. So it's like the lens is adjusted. Oh my god.
counterclockwise to bring in more of your real world environment with pass-through in your peripheral.
That is so fucking sick.
Kind of a neat trick. And then there was also this kind of weird feature where you can take 3D photos and videos with the cameras built into the headset itself.
How 3D are we talking?
And I did not like this one.
Oh, okay.
So there was a demo of like a recording from a headset camera of a kid blowing out some candles on a birthday cake, basically. And I got to watch this actual scene in the actual Apple headset. So
and did it suck?
Because there's two cameras like front facing, they can record stereoscopic 3D.
That makes sense.
So you can turn on.
But they're pretty close to each other. So like it'll be just as impressive as what you're seeing with your real eyes. I don't think it's going to get more than that without the cameras being like stretched out on fucking sticks.
On the recording.
Like antennas.
And in that moment, sit down and record a super
Not like antennas and stretched out like antennas, not like actually.
immersive video. And then when you watch it back in the headset, it's like you're reliving this moment in 3D.
So what's wrong with it?
Feel kind of cool, but I can't get the image of like the dad at the birthday party with the headset on, just recording things.
Oh yeah. No, that makes complete sense. But you don't do birthday party. Like, just don't bother with that shit. You know what? Who cares? Record cool shit. Like, if you want to record memorable moments, camera's the go-to for now. I get it. But what about just like, you know, you see your dog was looking mighty funny. It's doing some goofy business. Go press something, you know, pull up the
walking around
3D vision.
It just doesn't.
It feels wrong. It feels fucking dystopian.
What kind of memory is that for the other people around you?
Exactly. No, that'd be fucked. But like, again, if you're interacting with inanimate objects, that's absolutely fucking banging, right? That feels like that's exactly what it should be used for.
Like I saw this and I immediately thought back to the reasons we all know why Google Glass failed, which is it was ahead of its time, but it's also like you're walking around with a camera on your face. And everybody knows that you have a camera on your face.
That's like,
it just wasn't cool.
Uh-huh.
Dad, what are you doing? Why are your eyes sticking out through the headset? So, all right, the number one question I've gotten after I've
is it actually any good? Yes. A resounding yes.
Actually tried this thing is it any good? Is this headset any good? And
it is something you will not be able to. A version of this is something you will not be able to live without some years down the line. That's what I'll tell you. Maybe not this exact headset from Apple. There's going to be different brands making this. This is going to be this is going to be like the thing that everyone has eventually. The
answer is, well, yeah, some of the parts of this headset that I tried are actually the best I have ever seen.
I just think for content consumption, like VR is the future. Like there's no reason to watch a YouTube video on a phone like this when you can have it in front of you, like as big as you like it. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to squint to see it closely now because it's going to be at like the perfect distance to like you adjust it to be as far or close away as you need it to be. I just don't see how normal phone use for content consumption is just going to be dead. Like it's still going to be useful for TikToks, for example, right? Because this, like you pull it out of your phone, you do that real quick. You can't carry around the whole ass headset whenever you go like on the tramway or something. You know what I mean? Like that, or maybe you could honestly. Like you're going to a store, you know what I mean, to buy bread. You're probably not going to be walking around with that thing. So, like, your phones are going to have a place, but for quality content consumption, one of these, this is going to be the thing everyone has, you know?
Any VR headset by a mile, specifically the eye tracking and the hand tracking. Now, of course, it's going to be up to developers to really make it good, but I think the foundational, like, how do you use it part is pretty amazing. But that doesn't mean there aren't any downsides.
Oh yeah, of course.
Number one, there's no haptics, of course.
That's what haptics. I mean, again, it doesn't matter because like you can do normal work from it without you can't just use it as just a display. Because you don't, and that will already be great.
Controllers, you're just doing everything with your hands in the air. There's no way to have any sort of haptic feedback. There was a demo that I did where like I stuck my hand out a wall on the other side of the room opened up and a dinosaur was back there and a butterfly flew out. I held out my hand and the butterfly flew up and landed on my finger. It could track and see all...
That's so fucking cool, man. That's fucking awesome.
that information, and the volumetric, all the computation to make that happen was amazing. But when the butterfly landed and I didn't feel anything, there was that moment of like, oh, right, this is a VR headset. But then number two,
the fact that it is immersive enough to make you realize that this is a VR headset. I mean, we already have suits that make you feel like you're being touched by using like electricity. I'm just saying, Sword Art Online 2 in the real life edition. Just saying, but like without the part where we get killed, like without the part where it fries our brains if we die in the game, we die in real life. You know, without that part.
This is pretty heavy. This is a pretty heavy VR headset. Kind of the same way that.
I mean, again, the computation is like the brains are inside the headset.
AirPods Max, the Apple's metal headphones are heavier than most plastic headphones. There's a reason why most other VR headsets are just plastic. It's not because that's cheap. It's because it's lightweight. It's fatiguing to have a heavy thing on your head. And this is a headset made of metal and glass. It's heavy. Now, it is also super well built. Like, there is no arguing that. But I do wonder...
It did look like that. Even the way the headbands... Like, everything about this looks like it'll be ergonomic as shit.
About using it for longer than the half hour that I did. I don't
know if worrying about it is worth it, because there is no way they did not do very, very extensive testing before putting this out. You know what I mean? Like, the ergonomics of this have to be very... I guess, I don't know why I'm putting so much trust in a random company. Probably a mistake, honestly. You know, I take words back. That is actually something that is worth considering.
Taking to my head. That's also actually why the battery isn't attached to it. That would be a ton of weight to carry on your head. So
yeah, of course.
They connected the battery instead through a proprietary cable, and that actually can sit next to you on the couch or in your...
The cable looks very nice, by the way.
Pocket. And that brings us to the other thing, the battery life. 2 hours. 2-hour battery life.
That is really bad. Considering that the battery is that chunky, I would have...
on the headset.
I wouldn't mind slapping a bigger fucking block into my pocket, honestly. Like, I'm already carrying a brick in my pocket. I may as well carry a heavier one, you know what I mean?
Which is not that great. It's not that long. Now, there's a USB-C port on the battery bank, and you can plug that into the wall.
So, yeah, you can charge while you're using it. I get it, but...
For infinite time. But the second you unplug from the wall, 2 hours from that pretty hefty battery bank, which is like, okay, maybe most people won't be spending a lot of time in the headset.
But I think people will be. I think that's the whole point, that you're supposed to sit down and, like, watch a whole ass movie in one sitting, and, like, you walk around the house while doing so. You know, you stand up, take a piss, maybe enable the transparent mode for a bit. I just don't see how... that battery life just feels too small.
But you did also just show us, Apple, an ad of people, like, watching a movie in the headset.
Exactly!
That's already
pre-watched. I literally don't know how he says the exact same things as me, man. I should I am assimilating with the video.
2 hours plus. So something worth thinking about. Just a 2 hour.
Or I'm sure I think it's fair to say I say the exact same things as him, because he's the one that recorded it earlier than me. I am just reacting to his video. Who cares about the technicalities?
Bigger external batteries for this thing, but 2 hours. And then also, I couldn't get a firm answer here on if there are fans inside or not.
Also, like, you know what? I can slap a brick into each one of my pockets. Just give me 2 of them. A rope going down each side. I'm gonna look like a fucking android. So what? This already looks weird enough. You may as well make me look completely clunky. Give me a second battery. I'll take it for double the battery life.
But I think there's fans. Like, there's certainly vents for fans anyway. And if you're gaming for long enough or using it for long enough, do those spin up? Do they ever get loud? Do they ever kill your battery? That's kind of unclear. But then, of course, the main thing that everybody's talking about, it's expensive. It's
very expensive.
$500.
And people still buy it. I don't know if he would think so, but as I mentioned in the video I reacted to previously, and in this one like 10 times already, there is literally no reason they can't set a price for the price to $5,000, because well, maybe there is, but it'll get. I mark my words here. People will buy this thing.
So is that pricey? Yeah, that's very expensive. But this is the thing that is always weird with Apple products. Like, there is no direct comp. Like,
I'm the smartest man alive. I am the smartest human alive. Please like and subscribe. Do the usual stuff. Come on. I deserve this shit. I am so smart.
You always say it's expensive, but like compared to what? And
compared to nothing. It just costs a lot of money, but
they did this with the Pro Display XDR. They've done this with even AirPods Max a little bit, but like there are several things that this headset does that no other headset does.
Yes,
the
this is crazy shit.
That's super good. Even if an equivalent headset came along today and did all of the same stuff that this does, hardware and software-wise, it still wouldn't have FaceTime. It still wouldn't have, like, looking at a Mac and then the ecosystem.
No. Here's what he missed out on. Instead of being integrated with Apple, like what Apple are doing, just making shit exclusive, what the other company could do instead is let you plug that thing into your computer with, say, a fucking, I don't know, DP cable or whatever. I don't know, some fucking lightweight DP cable. Sounds stupid. I don't know, man. Like, just humor me for a sec. Some sort of connection to your computer to send you the data, and use it as a monitor for your PC instead. Like, Apple aren't doing it, from what I understand, which is very disappointing, honestly. That was like one of my biggest fucking hype moments for this. But it's not like it's still not very useful. But if someone else does this and does all the exact features, I think will honestly, so long as it gets good marketing, I think it has a chance of being better. Like, it's just going to be straight up more useful than the Apple thing. I don't know about if it'll sell more, because Apple has an infinite number of money to market themselves. Like, they can sell as much shit as they want, honestly. They're too big to fail, right? But some small company can make a fan favorite, absolute, everyone's gonna love this thing. Or even some other, fucking Nvidia, for all I know, who cares? Like, just someone can make it. And if you can connect it to, like, an external GPU, even a laptop, you know what I mean? Like, that would go hard. That would go so hard.
Allowing the Max display to pop up. So this is kind of something that only Apple could pull off. So
I agree that it's something only Apple could pull off for now, but I'm not sure I agree with the reasoning, if that makes sense. I think the real reason is because the manufacturing costs to make this thing a reality, and the research costs, and just everything altogether, how much it would cost and how difficult it would be to make this. It's something pretty much nobody has the budget to make.
Try it. I thought it was extremely impressive, but at the end of the day, this is not a product for the masses. I mean, obviously, right? It's $3,500. It has the word pro in the name too. But this
yeah, it's a first a first generation product that's already a pro.
It feels like the Series 0. Like the Apple Watch. Remember when the Apple Watch first came out, the Series 0, where it's really going to be up to the first.
Exactly, man. I've said this before in these both videos. This exact thing might not be what everyone uses, but what everyone is going to be using is a version of this eventually. It's probably not going to be made by Apple by then, because how long can they capitalize on the entire market for?
Adopters and the developers to decide the direction that this thing goes, to decide what people actually want to use it for.
Like, the level of immersion this thing will give you is just too much to pass up on. If you have money, you will be buying this. Like, I think this is not for the masses, but it's for those that can afford it. You know what I mean?
And that'll shape the future versions of it that we may eventually get down the road. Then maybe someday there's like a Vision SE that's like $400 that the Mac.
I don't think it's going to be that. I think the Vision SE or the Vision Pro Max 2 super light Giga Chat edition, it's going to cost just as much of this, if not fucking more. And I mean, eventually, once these things become useful enough, like, if you can avoid getting a computer because the onboard processors are now powerful enough to run what a computer was what a top tier computer was able to run back in 2020, you know, assuming it's like the year 2030 or whatever. Like, we might see fucking PC blocks going out of fashion. Not going out of fashion, just becoming less prevalent. Like, of course, the experience of sitting down, getting your mouse and keyboard and a whole ass table and a big ass chunky block and as even aside from the feeling, there's lots of practical reasons to keep your PC around outside of this. How long can you wear a headset for? You know what I mean? But I do think this is something that will be integrated into average people's lives. A version of this, not this, a version of this is something that will be integrated into average people's lives within some years.
Masses will all adopt, and it'll be this next generation hit product. Maybe.
Yes.
But as of right now, this is very much in the sort of early adopter, people like me, people like watching this video testing phase.
People like me, if you guys help me out, come on, do the YouTube thing for me. Great segue.
To figure it out. So that's the Apple Vision Pro.
I don't know why I did such a weird laugh.
It's the rich person's toy and the developer's muse for right now, but we'll see how far this thing goes.
I think it can go far. I'm gonna be honest. I think this thing can go far.
In the near future.
Near future? I don't know. Some 10 years down the line?
It's coming out next year. It's not that far off. It's not that far away. It's really interesting times. Either way, this was also part of a huge entire WWDC keynote. So if you want to watch my recap of the rest of that stuff, ideally get subscribed because there's going to be a video recap.
Guys, if you open up the description, first link is going to be to his video, and well, you can subscribe to him from there, from that link.
The biggest announcement
if you want to.
Of which there are many other things.
Here you go.
And also, I'll shout out the Waveform podcast to get subscribed there too, because the next episode,
Waveform
it's a banger
podcast. Here we go.
It's pretty.
He has a banger podcast. Go watch it. I watched his video, so it's only fair that you guys go give his video a shot as well, because otherwise I'm kind of just getting views for free. You know, that's not very well, not for free. Okay, I'm putting in some work, but it's nowhere near as much as what he's doing. You know what I mean? So it would just be not fair. And like, I'm not. The craziest part isn't the headset itself. It's the possibilities of what a better version of this headset can do in the future. That's what has me truly stunned, shocked out tummy arsehole. All right, well that I think I've said everything I wanted to say. I've been fucking, my voice, like my throat hurts. I've actually broken my voice because in the last 2 videos I reacted, I've been screaming way too much. I'm gonna be honest. So that's it for the video. 2 videos are here. Goodbye.